Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look through my latest vintage Matchbox acquisitions. So it's been probably 6 months since we've last done a Matchbox video, and in that time I've picked up about 20 new additions for my vintage collection, and that's what we'll be having a look at today, plus a complete overview of my entire collection as it stands right now. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so we'll go through these in numeric order, and we're starting with number 3, which is the Porsche Turbo. So I was very lucky in that a friend of mine, Callum, who is a big Corgi collector, he came across this little lot, or he came across a lot of about probably 70 or 80 vintage Matchbox models, and I was lucky enough to, I bought about 10 off him, and I was really pleased because they were super high grade, such as this one's a really nice condition. They were an original owner collection, and well, they were just really nice additions, and he always gives a very good price, does Callum. He's very fair. So yeah, this was great. This was lovely to finally get a Porsche, and this one dates from 1978 when it was first released. And as we go through, some of them might just need a tiny little wipe over. This one looks absolutely fine, to be honest. There's no real sort of marks on it at all. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a dust. I suspect that it was probably kept in its box for many years, and it's just that's how it's remained. So we'll pop that one over there. Now we've got number 4, which is a slightly older one here. This is the steak truck, and this one dates from 1967. So my sort of cut-off point with vintage Matchbox is about 82, 83, because that's when I personally stopped playing with them as a youngster. Anything after that doesn't really hold a lot of nostalgia for me. There's a couple of odd James Bond ones that I wouldn't mind picking up, but apart from that, that's about it. Now this one's got a little yellow sticker on that. I'm not going to attempt to peel that off. I think I'll just leave that, and I'll display it sort of that way around probably. But the actual model itself looks all right. There's some dust in there. Now what I'll do, it's not necessarily dirty, it is just dusty, so I just use this bit of my screwdriver and just do that, so it's just a way to get in there into the little corners without sort of putting any pressure on it. There we are. That was all that was required really to get inside the actual back there. And the front, this one looks absolutely fine. Yeah, the steak truck. Don't know much about that one, but yeah, a late 60s model. So that's cool. Pop these over there. I'll try and keep all the models in picture as we go through. Now, Mercedes Tourer. This is from 1974. This is pretty nice. Once again, I think this is from the Callum collection. Some of these, about half of these came from Callum. The rest of them have come from toy fairs, which I do locally. I do the West Point, the Exeter Matford Centre, I should say. Hasn't been at West Point for a while. So I do the Matford Centre, and I do one at Shepton Mallet as well. It's got a little bit of hair in there. Yeah, it seems to be, I think we got it there. Yeah, I do the Shepton Mallet one as well, and those are Bulldog fairs. They're fairly local to me, so since they're on my doorstep, I don't like to not do them. And I usually come away from each toy fair with a few Matchboxes, usually like at least 2 or 3. It's rare that I come away with nothing, although I have had a couple of ducks, as it were, and I didn't get any at all. But I usually get a few, and you know, over the course of a year, that adds up, and I get some nice additions to the collection. What I've not got, and what you'll notice going through these, I haven't got as many really older models as I would have liked. There's a lot more of this sort of, I mean, I nickname them the Stars and Stripes, but it's just that 75 stripy one. These are the ones I very vividly remember buying myself with my pocket money as a kid. So number 9 here, the Ford RS 2000, and this is from 1978. And this one is particularly groovy. This was another one from Callum, and I really like this because it's got all the racing stickers on as well, which is superb. Yeah, very nice indeed. Got the tow cable on the back, the tow hook rather. That is really good. And obviously once I get these in the cabinet, I'm looking to sort of display them on top of the boxes. However, the cabinet situation is particularly dire at the moment, and I'm going to get my entire Matchbox collection out. I might need to pack up some of my Corgis and put them in another cabinet, and then have a little rejig of all the Matchbox, because the way I display my Matchbox toys, they're in date order, for date when they were first released. So that creates its own sort of problems, really, because I have to keep having shunting sessions. I can't just add the latest ones to the cabinet willy-nilly, as it were. So that's why I don't rejig the cabinets that often. I do it maybe twice a year, sort of thing. But next one then is number 10, which is the Plymouth police car, and this one's from 1979. Once again, really nice clean example of this one. I suspect it's from Callum, and just getting off any sort of invisible surface dust that might have been present on that one. But yeah, not bad, that one. That's like the classic 70s stroke early 80s police car, that one, isn't it? Or even mid 70s onwards. It's a classic, that one. In fact, it does say number 10, 1979 the model was made, but I suspect it was the actual car was around a bit before that. Anyway, that's the first little lot. So number 15 was a really good buy, because I got this one, I think I got it for about 15 or 12 pounds. And although the actual car is not mint, I do have two other versions of this car, and one of them is particularly nice. I got it for the box, which I've now finally, I can marry up my best example of the car with the box and have a reasonable example of what's quite a pricey little Matchbox car, this one. The box isn't mint by any means, but it's not bad, and for me, I think I'm going to be happy with this particular one. The actual flaps are bent back inside. I'd like to get those out and bend them out the proper way, hopefully without damaging the box. There we are. But this was, once again, it was from a toy fair, and it was from an original owner. And he was just looking to shift the toys on his table. He wasn't looking to do anything else. He wasn't looking to make mega money with them or anything. So I was more than happy to accept that one off him, which was really cool. Now we got the Lamborghini Marzal. This is from 1969. The Volkswagen, by the way, was from 1968. This one, I believe I've got one already in my collection, but it's a loose one. So once again, this was bought so that I could finally get one in a box. Yeah, I've actually got this car already, and I think the car that I've got is mint. So this one, although it's got a little bit of damage, and I'm going to get some polish on that in a sec, I actually do have a really nice example of this one. So I just use a little bit of furniture polish on my damp cloth here, which is super soft. I don't want to soak the model, just enough to get little marks or sticker marks that instantly come off. It just gets it off the paintwork. That's all we're doing here, just to get it looking as nice as possible. As I said, I have already got a nice example of this, but it's loose, so I shall compare the models. I suspect the one I've got is better than this one, which has got a little bit of wear along the roof there, and then I'll pop that one with this boxed example, and we'll be good to go. Now the next one is yet another police car. It's the police patrol car, which is number 20, and it's a Rollermatics version. And you know, I remember seeing these on the road, in all honesty. 1975 for this police patrol vehicle. Quite a big model as well. I guess because was it a Land Rover underneath? I'm trying to remember. I think it was, wasn't it? Yes. It was a Land Rover in police livery. There we are. Yeah, not bad, that one. It's interesting that the windscreen and the windows are like frosted. I hadn't noticed that before, and I'm sure it's on purpose. Just going to give it because it's so wide, I'm going to give it just a cursory wipe over. There we are. That's absolutely fine. Now, we've got another Lamborghini. Number 27. Now, this Lamborghini is the funky later 1975 version, which is a Streakers, but this actually came out in 1972 initially, but this is like the second version of it. Now, because there are so many Matchbox models, and I only really want to get one of each initially, with a few exceptions, I'm happy just to take the first version that comes my way of a particular model. And in this case, it was the later Streakers version of this one, which is very, very cool indeed. Opening back engine there. The engine's in the back on this car. That is supremely cool. Now, if I'd had this in the 70s, I would have been made up, because that's an extremely, extremely cool little model, that one. Now, there's a few tiny dots where it's had a little bit of wear, but on the whole, that's actually really, really nice. And I'm not even going to clean that one. It's absolutely perfect, that. Now, number 28 is the Lincoln Continental, which is from 1979. There we are. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind these cars at all. Yeah, he's all right. It's nice and very, very clean. Very, very clean indeed, that one. I mean, I'm giving these a white, but apart from the one that one there, which was a little bit mucky, yeah, absolutely fantastic condition. Now, this is one of the bikes. Now, I'm not really a fan of the motorbikes within the Matchbox range. They're not really my thing, but you know, they are part of the series, so you've got to go for it, really. So this is number 33, and it's the Police Motorcyclist from 1977. And one of the reasons I particularly don't like these is because they don't stand up that easily, you know. Now, oh, well, I mean, I suppose it is what it is. It's just, you know, it's just not really my thing, you know. He doesn't stand up very well. Yeah, that does not stand. Oh, there we are. Yeah, not too good there. And then we got the policeman to go on the front here. Now, it looks as if his hands will go in the handlebars, which would, I guess, help him stay on, but also give the bike a bit more rigidity. So there's his hands tied in. Now he's doing a bit of an Evel Knievel thing. So that's no good. We need to get him in a better position before putting the hands in. So he does need to be virtually all the way in. Yeah, fiddly little things, these. They did do some bikes in the early 70s, which are quite sort of funky ones. From that sort of they're like choppers rather than bikes. And those are really nice. I don't mind those, although I haven't got any of them. There we are. Is he going to go on? There we are. Shows how new condition these were. It's hardly been played with at all. But there he is. So he's answered, how easy does it stand up? Well, I suppose it does stand up, but they're just not my favourite, I got to say. But they are what they are. You've got to have them as part of the series. Okay, so number 39 here, Clipper. And this is another one of those funky 70s ones, I believe. This one's 1973. And it's a Rollermatics. And these early 70s ones, they got those really funky sort of metallic-y covers. I guess colours. It was all brand new at the time, wasn't it? And these were very much the ones that were used to combat Hot Wheels. I really think Matchbox saw Hot Wheels as such a huge threat that they had to be doing something, and this was their answer to it. This one I picked up obviously at a toy fair because he's a little bit more worn, but I'm going to put some polish on, and I don't think it's going to hurt it in the slightest. I think it's going to come up really nicely. Just some sort of storage dust, really, where it's probably been on display. Yeah, it's given it its original sheen. Now, once again, the box has got a tiny sticker removal mark there. Now, if I was so inclined and I had loads of spare time, I would get that bit of sticker residue off, and I might still come back to it at one point, but for the time being I'm more than happy to just leave that one there with my my clipper. And if he stands up all right, having just cleaned him, there we are. Right, the next one we have got is a BMW, the BMW 40 CSL, and this is number 45 from 1976. Now, once again, I think this is one I got off Callum. Yes, I got to admit, I do like it when they've got a little addition of a badge or a sticker on, and this one's got the BMW bonnet badge on there. Very, very nice. Do the doors open? They do indeed. Green tinted windows on this one. Very funky indeed. A little bit of tarnishing on the bottom, but that's normal with these things, isn't it, you know? I'm just going to give it the dust off. There we are. That's fine. That's a really, really nice nice model, that one. I'm very pleased to have that one. I can't wait to get these all out on display in my cabinets. No, number 56 is a Mercedes. It's the Mercedes 450 SEL, and this one came out in 1979. Once again, it's an absolutely beautiful example. I'm sure this one came from my friend Callum. Yeah, really nice sort of sharp box. I wish all mine were that condition. And there we are. I mean, you still see these on the road today, don't you? Interesting, the front is a little bit tarnished, a bit like the bottom here. And I'm sure that could be sort of cleaned up, but it's not something I would ever intend to do. Opening doors again as well. Very, very nice. Let's give it the just the cursory dust off, just in case there is a little bit on it. But that's absolutely fine, that one. That is lovely. It's a really nice car here. Now this is a nice early one, one of the funky ones again. Whoosh and push. This was another recent Toy Fair find. I see it's actually got a little £15 on the inside of the box lid. Now that I don't particularly like, so I'm gonna get that out with my rubber here. Be careful. Yeah, so the whoosh and push from that very funky period. I could almost call it the disco era, but it was a bit before that. And this one looks like it's caught a little bit of dust in there, just where it's probably been out on display. Once again, this is one of those like imaginary cars that never actually existed. Now, to get into that little groove, I'm just going to put the little screwdriver into there and just wipe it like that. And that gets right into that little crack. Same on the other sides here. The seat's all right. Just a way to get along the little, into the little edges. Because this does appear to have a little bit of display dust on it, but not much. There we are. That is absolutely fine, that one. It's a funky example, you could say, of number 58. Right, now another reasonably early one here. We got the Lotus Super 7. This was from 1971. This is similar to the car the prisoner drove. He had a green one, of course, and it was a slightly earlier model. This one, the box is a bit sort of VG. It's not perfect by any means, but better than not having one at all. Once again, this one has picked up some dust. You can see it sort of in the grooves there, where this has been out on display. So we're going to have to do the same thing again, which is get my cloth and just go along some of these edges here to get this dust out. Not much, just a tiny bit. almost all of these I would say were unplayed with condition. And the other thing I think I'm going to do with this particular one, because I can see some dust in the seats, is just use this soft, really soft old toothbrush just to get in there to give that a brush as well. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that was all that was required on the Lotus Super 7. Once again, a nice funky one with a bonnet decal, which I do really like those ones, because it's a sort of thing you can see it's been in the hands almost of a collector and not been played with, because the decal is still in one piece. And there's a few like that here today. Now, number 60 is the Holden Pickup, which is not one I was massively familiar with, but this is a big model which carries two bikes in the back, in the boot. Let's have a look at this one. So I do like the ones which have got extra bits and pieces to them, and I think these bikes are detachable. I'm pretty sure you can take them out. Not that I'm going to bother with it, but look at that, there's quite an elaborate thing there. And yeah, I'm sure you could just lift these, you could lift these bikes in and out of the back. Yeah, they just slip in and out from there. Is that how they go in and out? Yeah, that's how they go in and out. I'm not actually going to touch them simply because it's mint. It's never been played with, and I want to leave it as close to mintness as possible. So I will just give it that very cursory wipe over. But that's it. That's an absolute beauty, that one. Well, rapidly running out of room, but we've only got 3 more left to do. So this is number 62, which is a Chevrolet Corvette. A very cool model indeed, this one. This is from 1979. And once again, it's got some bonnet decals. I can see straight away that it's got a tiny rub on the front there, which stops it from being like pristine mint, but it's still pretty funky, and I love the colour of it. That sort of very deep red, is metallic-y red, is really nice. I'm just going to give it a brush though, because it's got a little bit of dust on it, where it's probably been briefly on display at some point. Very nice indeed. Yeah, I like that one a lot. That's gorgeous. Very cool. Then the airport coach. Now, these first came out in 1977. There is, I don't know, there must be at least 10 variations of this particular one with different airlines on and different colours and things like that. I really like them, but I'm also really pleased that I've just got the most basic British example of all, which is the British Airways one. But I think these are supremely funky. I love them, and this is one of those ones which I will probably end up buying multiple versions of as I come across them. So as I said, I've only ever wanted one of each one, but there are certain models with the variations that I really like, and this is one of them. Although it's the first one of these I've got, I assure you it won't be the last, because I absolutely love these. They are really great. Now, the last thing I've got before we go and get all my other Matchbox models out and put them all back into year order is I've actually got a dinky, but I thought the time to clean this one was now. So one of my other partial pastimes is collecting old Kodak Instamatic cameras from the 1960s. I really like them, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to get the Kodak Bedford van? Now, this was a dinky. It's not even a corgi. This is the only dinky I think I own, and it was only produced for 2 years, 1954 to 1956. This is an original model. It's not a re-release, because it was re-released in the 90s in like a classic line, and apart from some marks there which you're going to get off, it's actually in, I think, excellent condition, and it only cost me £8 at a toy fair, so I was really pleased with that one. Because you look online and you can't find originals in this sort of condition for less than about 20. So I consider myself, I did very well. So I've just put a bit of polish on here to try and take off some of the marks on the roof, and already it's done wonders, as you can see. Yeah, I thought it was a really nice example of this one. And I specifically went to the toy fair to find one of these. I had it in mind as one to find, and there's always loads of loose stuff. I think it just pays to be quite picky with it and try and, if you're going to buy loose, you want to buy it as mint as possible. If you can't find a boxed one, and I wasn't fussed about having a boxed one, but I wanted that in front of my sort of Kodak camera collection. I think that's going to look really, really cool indeed, that one. It's come up absolutely beautiful, I've got to say. It's even better than I thought it was going to come up as. So that's really nice. Yeah, nice condition. I mean, it's not mint, but it's got to be a 9 out of 10, I would think. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that one. So that's not going to go in a cabinet. It's going to stay. I've got my camera collection here in the studio with me, so it's going to stay right here in the studio. So there we are. So that's all my latest acquisitions cleaned up as best I can. Next thing is I'm going to empty both my Matchbox cabinets, put everything back into date order, all the new acquisitions, including stuff from previous videos which aren't in date order. Then I'm going to film them all on the table with them all out in the years, and then I'm going to re-merchandise them across a couple of cabinets. I think they're going to look flipping lovely. So let's do that now. So here's my entire collection of vintage Matchbox models, and I put them all into date order, and they're all sort of in little batches on the table here, ready to be re-merchandised back into my display cases. And here's the first display case. So I start with the very earliest models right back to when Matchbox started, and I work my way through the years. Basically, I've not been picking up any new catalogues lately. None have come my way in nice condition, but I certainly enjoy the ones that I've got. And this is just that first cabinet with them all in date order. And now here's my second cabinet, which does share some space with my some vintage Corgi toys, which I think are probably going to have to come out at some point because the Matchbox are going to overtake it. But these are my sort of later ones, sort of like from the 70s. And once again, I think they look particularly good, but I'm having to squeeze them in tighter and tighter. And, you know, I like to have them out on display. So we may have to see, may have to get a third cabinet this year. It may be the only solution. Anyway, they are fantastic. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed looking through my updated Matchbox collection tour. Certainly, I'm really pleased to be getting so many new ones. And I'm back on the hunt again. My lists are up to date. I've got toy fairs coming up over the next few months, so I'm certain to be adding a few more. I'd certainly like to get a few more earlier ones into my collection rather than the later ones. So that's my sort of focus for this year, if possible. Thank you very much for watching today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage Matchbox action, and do check out the Matchbox playlist on the channel, and I'll be back very soon. Bye.